Hey Harmonizers, welcome to another episode of Road Trip with My Horse. This is me on our way to California for the Western States Expo, traveling all the way from Ontario, Canada with my 5-year-old thoroughbred mare. We're going to be doing demos there. We've also got a whole crew going with us, including my 3-year-old daughter. And we're trying to make it one epic journey along the way, showing that if you've got a calm connection, you can quite literally take your horse anywhere. This was super cool. We saw this really beautiful stop as we were coming down from the Rocky Mountain National Park. Kind of funny because there's the balloon there. Somebody was celebrating their birthday in the park as well. So there were some balloons, a little bit of motion, and this beautiful bridge and this really fast-going stream or river, if you want to call it, going down the mountain as well. Just a really awesome opportunity to kind of test our partnership. And one of the things that we really tried to do on this trip was seize every moment. We don't know if we're ever going to get to do this again, go on this type of road trip and see this country again with our horses in tow. So we're like, anything we see that's really cool, we're going to try to stop as many places as we feel like we can. So we were checking it all out, walking down the different paths and trying to explore a little bit everywhere we went and trying to make use of all those places where we were going. This was really a beautiful stop. You can see another balloon there on the side because they were having a little birthday party, and we're just checking it all out, doing as much as we can Brideless. So I try to play it safe. Sometimes people say, that's really unsafe. You've got your horse Brideless in public places, and really it all comes down to knowing your horse. Absolutely, this could be ridiculously dangerous if you just put a neck rope on your horse and try to ride your horse, because if you haven't taught your horse how to be calm, for one, and two, how to ride Brideless, it's a totally different test of energy with all of the sounds, all of the space, and absolutely, if your horse doesn't like you, they're going to run away and it's going to be a horrible experience. But if you take the time to do the training and you find a calm connection with your horse, then it really does change everything. I can't stress enough that if your horse is calm, like so much amazing stuff can happen. In that last clip you saw, there was like a garbage bag that happened to be flapping on the side, and just so many weird things can happen, and you really just need a horse that's going to say, oh yeah, stuff is happening, let's just chill together. So this was kind of funny. Franny and I thought we'd try to do a little rearing shot together, see if we get a cool picture, but our timing was not super amazing, so it didn't end up working as epically as we thought maybe it would. And Lissy was kind of like, hey, we just did a 2-hour trail ride through the Rocky Mountains. I kind of don't feel like doing my epic rear right now. And then I thought I'd show you guys this. This is a funny clip of trying to get a really cute pose of my horse with me by the stream. And she's like, but Mom, there's snacks. There's snacks. Do you see this? There's grass here. And I'm like, Lissy, we are trying to capture a beautiful moment. And she's like, yeah, but there's snacks. So I just thought that'd be funny to show you guys behind the scenes of getting those beautiful pictures with our horses and seeing the things that show up on social media is actually a lot of this going on in the background. And then I'm like, okay, well, what if I give you the snacks? Maybe that will work. And she's like, okay, I can stand. If you're gonna give me the snacks, then I'll stand there and look really beautifully. So a lot of the time it's learning to work with your horse and figuring out, what your horse is wanting and when to feed, all of those types of things, when to add distractions, when it's safe to take off your halter. All of those pieces are really important, because if you just come out and take your halter off and expect to do this, of course you could be set up for failure. So you need to know how to reward, how to keep your horse happy. Here doing a couple of pictures with my 3-year-old daughter, and we did use the halter and the rope for that. And you see Lucy's was kind of bobbing her head there because she's like, oh, I still wanted to eat more snacks. And you can see our horse trailer in the background there on the other side, and it's a fast-flowing river stream. I'm not really sure what to call it. I'm not well versed on my bodies of water to know is this classified as a stream or a river or a creek. I'm not really sure. Not a creek, but probably a river or a stream. And it's really, really fast-flowing, probably because it's pretty early in the summer, so there's a lot of melted snow and water still flowing down, so it's very, very fast flowing. And there's this super cute little area here. I thought I'd show you how I did it with the halter and rope first, just to make sure. At the end of the day, even though we love to do really cool and flashy things and try to show people what's possible, we are safety minded. So going through this little building, there were picnic tables set up on the far side that you can't see, where they're actually having the birthday party. And I did check with them. It was okay for me to bring the horse through the other side first, but wanted to make sure everything stayed safe, so did it with the halter and rope first, and then without the halter after that. And then we started our drive, and our next stop's going to be in Utah. And I thought this is really cool how the landscape just changes. The USA is such a beautiful country, and constantly we were seeing different things along the way. We went through this area of flat plains, and this area of all these kind of sand dune hills. And then we went through some areas where we started to see some red rock, which was pretty cool. And we went through miles and miles of very, very, very flat land as well. So it's kind of neat. That part I think was through Wyoming. We saw some of these interesting rock formations as we were driving along. And then we saw this beautiful mountain area that probably had a better backdrop than we were in the Rocky Mountain forest. I think that was more beautiful. And as we're driving along, we saw this little area off the side of the road, and we're like, yes, let's stop and get some pictures, because that's what you can do when you have a calm connection with your horse, and your horse has been in the trailer for already a few hours, and you can just be like, yep, let's hop off the trailer and take off your halter and your rope at the side of the highway, and we are going to do some Brideless and some Liberty tricks and things like that, even though there's grass and there's open space, and totally the recipe for disaster. But if you have that calm connection and you've done the work to put in the time to build that relationship with your horse, then you can do things like this. And part of our journey is really to inspire people that if you have a horse that maybe isn't super calm now, that if you take the time and you do the calm connection exercises and you learn how to focus on getting your horse's mind calm and alert, that you can achieve a relationship with like this too. For those of you guys that have been following us for a while, if you look back to Alicia's videos from just last year, she definitely had her dragon moments where she would get overwhelmed. We would go new places and she would get overwhelmed, and she would be leaping in the air on all fours, have these huge bronching episodes where she just couldn't contain her nerves or her anxiety, and she would literally explode out of her skin to some extent. It's like she'd be exploding off the ground. And now she's a completely different horse that we're able to be mid-route on our way on this super long drive, and she has the capacity to be really full of beans, which you're going to get to see in our next video, and she really is just looking like she's super chill and calm here. And in reality, this is a much harder test than we would have had before. And as we go through this road trip, you are going to see that this relationship gets challenged again and again and again. And we end up in some pretty interesting situations. There may or may not be a rogue dog involved in one of them, some mules in another one. So there is a lot of really interesting challenges coming up. And that's what I really loved about going on this road trip with my horse. It was an opportunity to really see all that work that we had put in to develop this relationship, all of those sacrifice shows where I took her places and I said, I don't care about the ribbon. I just want my horse to be relaxed. And so I would go into the arena and maybe I would finish my course, maybe I would not, maybe I would do extra circles, because I would make it a priority that my horse would leave the ring feeling good. So whether that meant we actually cantered the whole course or not, didn't matter. It was all about her. So she did get some snacks, not just there for pictures, although I'm pretty sure she thinks it's pretty silly. And then this is kind of funny, Sarah getting some pictures while our horses were grazing. So I think the horses thought it was a pretty good deal, because they got to just hang out and get some grass while we took some pictures. And then Sarah wanted to get a couple photos with Alicia as well. As you guys know, Sarah's done some jumping competitions with Alicia in the past, so they've had a little bit of a relationship as well. So getting some cute photos there before we hopped back on the trailer and started the rest of our journey. A little bit with Ev and I, and we are now on the way to Utah.
Remember to subscribe and check out harmonyhorsemanship.com for even more learning.